Now there's more cameras walking around staring at me. I don't care. I just want to play football. Yeah, I want to win a Super Bowl this year.
Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned, episode 373. It's Monday. I don't know the exact date. Don't ask me. It's just Monday, somewhere in the middle of May. And Ahmed Fareed is here once again to drive the ship off after a long weekend, hard-working weekend. But I know you're energized now.
I am.
Detroit, we're opening with Detroit a lot here, all right? I mean,
talking about Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, and Jamal Williams talking about Hard Knocks, and he doesn't give a about the cameras in his face. He doesn't give a shit.
If you just heard that
that
soundbite too, the beginning of it, you would not know if the podcast is beginning or if it was like some evil character in a cartoon.
No,
it was kind of a weird.
You really wouldn't know. And then when you turn it on, you'd go, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'd be even more confused because you're like, wait, is the guy that's hosting the show, does he work for the Washington Commanders? Is there, this is the day they're doing the Chris Simms Top 40 list. So maybe Chris has a commander on the list today. Because you're very dressed for commander-like football today.
It's almost identical to the colors, isn't it? I didn't realize that until you just said it. And I looked at myself in the monitor, and I look exactly like a commander.
You're like the old Washington team in the '70s when they had those like the mustard yellow pants and all that.
Yeah,
you're like Sonny Jurgensen in that team back in the day.
What did I do here? I kind of like the combo though.
I do too. It goes well.
Could be a good year for them. So I might wear it again.
Well, we're hoping good things for your Lions. That's going to happen.
Yep.
Commanders, they're kind of one of those teams you can kind of see it going either way. I love the Commanders' color scheme. So
the colors are good. So
don't be offended.
So the fact that I duplicated one of them here today,
right.
of all of them to duplicate, that was good.
Now you doing good though? I mean, Ahmed
I'm doing good.
He was pregame baseball yesterday.
Yep. Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for a really good game. We 2 for 2 on Peacock so far with our baseball games. 2 really good games. First one in Fenway. Yesterday we were in Atlanta.
Right.
Which, by the way, in Atlanta, what a cool park. I had not been there.
I've never been there
Built
either.
it in 2017.
Right.
They built this whole property. It's kind of outside the city so they could build on the stadium.
Sure.
So they told me that at the World Series last year, for one of the games, they had 40,000 people inside the stadium.
Yeah.
And then they had another 60,000 people all around the stadium.
Wow.
And like restaurants they built. And big park areas with big screen TVs. It's a cool complex.
So you can go there and hang out for the day and
100%.
Yeah, that's cool.
Even when there's not a game there's enough stuff to do around the stadium.
There is. Yeah, that seems to be the new thing in professional sports is to build something around these stadiums that keeps the crowds coming to these restaurants or whatever else.
Well, it's what you need too, because the worst thing is if you build a stadium hoping that comes, which I think some teams have done, like the Marlins have done that in Miami, and then they don't build up around it, then you just got a ballpark that no one hangs around if there's not a game.
It's just empty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, give me the extra innings. You
Yep.
made the flight. Everything was good.
I made the flight.
You made the flight.
You know me. I'm a nervous Nelly.
All
you know
right.
me.
Well,
So
I didn't know. Sometimes they cut it close.
I
too.
don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't. I had a 7 o'clock flight, so that game could have gone 25 innings, and I still would have made my flight.
Right.
But there were
That's
people.
where you and me are different.
I don't get how you do that.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you sweating the whole time? Like, the game's going into overtime. You're just like, I might not make it.
Yeah, I would. But, man, it's worth the roll of the dice to me to get home like 3 hours earlier.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
But then what happens if you miss your flight? Are you screwed? Do you have to stay
Then
overnight
I'm pissed
sometimes?
off and I'm cursing out the world and saying, what the did I do to deserve this? That bothers me. Yes. So
I don't want
It's a tough
that.
one. I hear you.
You
You're
know
taking
that,
the safe. You're taking the safe bet.
Because I don't curse. So what am I supposed to do in that moment?
You're taking the safe bet there.
I am.
You're good.
Yeah.
That's why you're good and you're responsible better for points bet and everything else.
Pete says we have a photo, so if you're watching on
Oh, look at that guy. Look at got my favorite blue pants on.
Why am I standing like that?
I don't. You must be mid walk. You
So
didn't
I
pose like
was
that,
mid-walk.
did you?
I got my
Matt
iPad.
Casey sent this to me too.
Matt Casey sent this, our other producer extraordinaire, leading the ship here. So that was where we were. We were outside the ballpark, finding a restaurant because he's out there helping producing the pregame show.
Tottenham Spur, Hotspur, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, the Hotspur.
Yeah, maybe an illegal T-shirt.
There's a little bit of a stomach going on there. What's up with that?
Yep. I think if you raised your hands above your head too, we'd see belly button. It's an illegal T-shirt.
If I did that now too,
maybe it might be close.
I got broad shoulders, so that kind of makes it harder to get there. So I would love to talk about this more.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Except that my belly was sticking out, and I'd like to get off that subject.
Yeah, right.
we have a big pod.
Yes.
Because we're starting your top 40 quarterback countdown.
There we go.
Okay. So we're going through, what are we going through? 36.
Yep.
So we'll get into that
the
here.
bottom 5.
The bottom 5. But, they made the list. They should be celebrating.
No question.
Even though we just called them bottom 5, they made the list.
They made the list. They're in the top 40 best quarterbacks in the world conversation.
But before we do that, we got number 1. As in the number 1 prognosticator of all the Sims homies out there on PointsBet. Welcome in Rob from Illinois. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, good.
What's up, Rob? How you doing, man? Good to have you.
Nice to meet you. I guess Zoom's kind of meeting somebody.
It
nice
is. It's official. We're friends now. We definitely are.
I hear you.
I know. So now you're gonna have to watch the podcast and act like you like what we do. Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Good to hear.
I will be for sure.
All right, so Rob, first off, you're a teacher, right? You're in school right now.
I am.
So Rob's in school, so he's skipping out. So hopefully we don't get him in trouble.
Yeah.
So let's clarify.
I have a tendency to do that sometimes.
So Rob is on the pod because we had the PointsBet Perfect 10. Remember that? And if you picked the entire first 10 picks of the NFL draft correct, what'd you get, Pete? Like $100,000? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
$100,000.
Right.
You got to talk to us, all the perks.
All the important things.
All the important things. Well, no one got all 10. But Rob was the only one to get the first 5 correct. So congratulations. I'm giving you a seated ovation right here. We're showing your picks on the screen right now. You had Trayvon Walker 1, Hutchinson 2, Derek Stingley 3, Sauce Gardner 4, and Kayvon Thibodeau 5. Now, Chris, I know
I was way wrong on the Kenny Pickett.
That was
all right. Well, you weren't crazy wrong. There was a lot of people that thought that. There was a lot of people that thought that could happen. A lot of experts that thought it could happen. So you weren't crazy there. That's the first thing I want to ask you, Rob. It's just how'd you come to your conclusion of your top 5? Yeah, what made you finally go that route with those first 5 picks there?
Just sitting down, starting looking at it, and I got a son that's plays some college football. He dies in the draft. We both do. So just went down and went through it. I guess the big guess in the first 5 was who was going to be first, Stingley or Sauce Gardner. And when I got the Stingley right, that kind of made the other ones fall into place a little bit. So that's kind of how I came about it, and was following it that night. And I kept looking at them. I'm like, I think I got another one right. I got another one right.
Were you looking? It's amazing. I mean, top 10 is almost impossible. I mean, 5 in a row is amazing in itself. Were you looking at PointsBet odds and things like that, or odds from sports books as far as the picks are concerned?
Oh yeah. I was looking at it that way through PointsBet, and I was putting the bets down. So I was hoping to make a little bit of money on it, and surely did that night. Not $100,000. I could have gone for that.
Yeah.
But made enough money to buy a couple pops that night. So it was all good.
Good.
So this is what I'm saying. So this is how I know, Rob. Now I'm guessing you're not a all the time listener to the pod, right? An occasional listener,
I am not.
Perhaps.
That's what I am. Yes.
Because I was going to say, Chris, listeners to this pod probably did not have Thibodeau or Stingley. That was a shock to most of us. A shock to you.
It was to me, for sure. Yes.
And it was. I think that there was a few, though, that thought that Kayvon Thibodeau would drop, maybe out of the top 10.
Yeah.
So you just went with your gut right there. And what was it, Pete? He got 7 of the 10 eventually there?
I think it was 7 of 10 total.
All right, yeah, you got Evan Neal to the Giants there. You got Charles Cross there to number 9. All right, so Rob, before we let you go, who's your team?
Cowboys.
Okay.
How did that happen,
no,
Rob,
I like
from
that.
Illinois?
Oh, I like that. Anti-Bears.
Grew up with Tony Dorsett, all the players, and then you got the Michael Irvin and everything. Little kid growing up, in my age, you were either a Steelers fan or a Cowboys fan, pretty much.
Right.
But not from Illinois.
I grew up in Indiana.
Okay,
so
got it.
I didn't grow up in Chicago. But you were either a Steelers or a Cowboys fan, and I've been a Cowboys fan. I've made sure my 19-year-old son's a Cowboys fan. We travel. We go to one Cowboys home game a year and one road game a year. This year we're lucky. They're in the Packers. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's listen, that's a real fan, and you're right. There's a lot of people from your generation. It's a lot of Steelers and Cowboys fans. There's no question about that.
What do you mean your generation? Like
yeah,
saying Rob's
well, I'm
older
just saying he's mature. He's
I'll
wise,
take
a
it.
wiser man.
That doesn't hurt my feelings.
All right. So are you? Let me hear a little bit about like your gambling. As far as like you a sometime gambler. What is usually your formula?
I'm on the websites consistently. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I don't spend a lot of money. I do it for a little bit of fun. I've had a pretty good run over the last couple months.
Good.
Hitting a lot of the boosts, a lot of the different things with the promos and the boost. I hit those often. But I've gotten pretty lucky over the last couple months. I'm in the plus range, which is all.
That's all that counts.
That is all that counts. All right. So as you go here, give us something that we can make money on. Who's going to win MVP? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? You know this stuff.
I'll tell you the one. My team that I think is going to be better this year. One, the Bears are terrible. Yes. Unfortunately, the Bears are terrible.
I think so.
I'll take the under on the Bears all day, all night.
Yeah.
And then some.
Right.
I just can't see how they're going to be able, and it's too bad because Justin Fields is just going to get drilled back there, unfortunately. But unfortunately, I think the Bears are going to be under. I like the Colts this year. I think the Colts are going to be a solid team. I think Matt Ryan for maybe 1, maybe 2 years, he's going to be good. I don't know how you go against guys like Matt Stafford as an MVP, something like that. I mean, I know you don't win the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. It hasn't happened in 30 years or something. I think Tom Brady was the last one to do it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know how you go against Stafford with all the players they got. They're adding players. I don't know how they can keep doing that, but they keep adding them.
I hear you. Yeah, he might not win the Super Bowl again, but he could put up a big year and win the MVP. I don't think that's a crazy thought at all.
I like this. I like
your thoughts on the Colts too. I mean, there's the over under I believe is at 9.5, right? So I don't know if you got.
I'm over all day.
Yeah, over, and you already got action on it. You already did it.
I do. When it was there, I got it.
You're my kind of guy.
All day.
So he's sees an opportunity and pounces.
He sounds like you're more of a long play guy. Are you more of a that kind of bet, or are you more of like?
I don't mind those. Yep.
Yeah.
I got a Golden State Warriors who I'm riding now. So
man, multi-sport.
About 12-1 when they were just starting it the year when they were playing so poorly. So I'm sitting riding on that bad boy right now.
All right. So wait, what grade are you teaching? And tell us that, because you might be making enough money here to where they might need a new teacher here soon.
Easy now. I got 5 more years. Don't kick me out yet.
All right.
I teach elementary PE. I got a best job in the world. I haven't worked in 27 years.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
All right.
Yep.
So give me all right, the weather's getting a little nice here. It's May. What do we got scheduled in PE today?
Soccer today. We got some soccer and a little softball swinging out there today.
Oh, this was the best time.
Can I get back to that?
Growing up in Michigan, this was the best. Very similar to Illinois. It's just like you're locked in school all year long. And then right at the end, it's like you're happy that it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
And you get to go outside again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the greatest time. Rob, thanks for participating in the contest. Congratulations on doing so well, and
awesome.
And thanks for throwing some shade on the Bears and giving some love to Matthew Stafford. I love this interview.
Awesome.
Thanks,
you guys have a great day. It was nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you too,
All
Rob.
right.
Thanks a lot, man.
Later, Rob.
Appreciate it, buddy.
That was good. I
love it.
I like Rob. You insulted him a little bit.
I
by
wanted
saying
to insult him one more time. I wanted to call him Imperfect Rob. Because we were having him on. He got 5 perfect, but that's 10.
True. Yeah.
So, but yes, I love that. Great story. Cool little gym teacher there, PE teacher.
My dad was a gym teacher,
it's amazing.
Health teacher, yeah.
Right, and he's into sports. He could tell that.
I love
so
that.
that's good. Hopefully, we can help people make some money every now and then.
Well, if they want to do that, they can sign up for the PointsBet app and use promo codes. We supply promo codes.
We do. And right now, that code is NBC2K, all right? And you can get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. If you're in an eligible state, PointsBet has an exclusive sign-up offer for Unbuttoned listeners that you cannot miss, Ahmed. You can't miss it even when you're wearing your Commander's clothes, all right? Download the PointsBet app, use code NBC2K to sign up, and get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. So, say you like Rob's picks and bet $100 on the Colts to win the AFC.
Sure.
If you win, you'll get $1,200. But if you lose, you will get free bets worth $100.
Wow.
Yep.
Pete did that math so fast.
Pete's getting good with these. He's adding things up.
That's
and
like
everything.
a live promo
right?
that we had changing odds and everything.
Yes, right. So,
Organic.
and then once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life, Ahmed, with PointsBet.
I love it.
Yeah, you should love it.
PointsBet's going to love that.
Paying half your salary.
I command you to do that. And I can say that
as a commander.
As a commander, I can do that.
You're an unofficial commander of the podcast today.
You know what I command right now?
What do you command?
That we begin the 2022 Chris Simms Top 40 Quarterback Countdown.
I grant your wish.
This is
here
big.
We go.
This is big.
Big day here.
This is how you know the draft is over. We got a little lull between training camp and all that stuff. And so how do we fill the time? Well, we degrade some quarterbacks. And we asked Chris to put himself out there again for internet hate, which will certainly happen once again. But we always do a good job of trying to explain your reasoning.
Yep.
And that's really the exercise here, right?
Yeah.
It's like the numbers are one thing, and they are where you think they are and talent-wise, but we're trying to have conversations about where these quarterbacks are at right now with all these teams.
Right. Exactly right. It's not easy. Again, I'm not sitting here and saying what I write, should be in stone and should be the letter of the law. But I do love this, and I put my life and soul into this a lot. So I'm a guy that with some of these close ones, hopefully you can listen to and go, oh, Chris made sense. That makes sense. Chris does this for a living. I get why he's saying that. I'm here to be that guy that nitpick between the 4th and 5th quarterback and tell you exactly why, or 38 and 37, and do that. So, yes, it's not an easy exercise. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. There's a lot of guys in certain areas where you go, oh, my gosh, these 5, 6 quarterbacks, they're all the same guy. How am I really going to differentiate between them? Mm-hmm. I'm big into this, all right? There's 4 categories that I'm big on. All right, and I don't know if I've ever really kind of said this because I broke it down more through this lens this year.
Okay.
Talent, physical talent, right? That's the number one thing.
Throwing and running?
Throwing and running, taking both of those into account. That's part of the game right now in 2022 NFL, no doubt about it. The next thing would be the mental aspect, decision-making, going through reads, how much of the playbook can you handle, all of those type of things. Certainly huge as far as the success of the quarterback. Third would be leadership. And leadership is huge. Of course it is. The effect you have on the football team, their belief, whether it's through the season lens, the game lens itself, the effect you have on the team every day in practice, right? Tom Brady's got all that stuff, let alone he's also like, hey, I got a cool play here. Let me add this to it. That's great. It's unreal leadership. It's hard to compete with that. And then the last one to me would be pocket presence. I think because there is something to that. There's the physical ability, right? But I'm not going to put that in the pocket presence. I'm going to give that its own thing. So those 4 things to me are really the way I break it down. Of course, I'm not in the room, in a meeting room with some of these guys. I don't know all of them. I know a lot of them, and I know a lot about them. But that's really kind of how I try to break it down.
So you talk to a lot of people in the NFL. You got to know a lot of smart people in the NFL.
Yep.
Do you lean on them at all to make this list, or is this all you?
No, this is all me. This is all me, and anytime I did a draft, just to be transparent, I'm on draft 7 or 8. This is all I did the last few days.
Don't hold that up like Jerry Jones did with his draft board.
I got 7 drafts. I have 8 drafts total of these, and I sent like Pete and Matt Casey. Every time I had a new one, I take a picture, I send it to them, have some conversations on there. Mm-hmm. The only person I converse with this at all really is my father. Just to pick his brain. He might say a few thoughts. The big thing is not even that I really want to listen to him all the time. He makes a point, and I go, oh, damn, you know what? You're right. That was the tiebreaker right there. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is, as you've heard me say, is talking it out.
Yep.
You got to talk it sometimes because you don't even, with some of these close ones, you're like, man, I don't know who to pick here. And then you start having a conversation, and then it starts to reveal itself. So that's where I'm great with my dad, and he bounces things off of me there as well.
So how many quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Before we get to number 40, we're in contention for top 40.
That's the hardest part of the exercise here. All right, so because first off, my number one fear of this is making a list and going, oh shit, I forgot that this guy's a free agent or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Or somebody. Cam Newton one year. It was 2 years ago. Pete will tell you. He got to the list and he goes, Cam Newton's on here. And I went, oh shit. I forgot Cam Newton.
And we were at number 1, so we had to make him number 1. And Mahomes didn't make the list.
So, as you know, I sent him that screenshot of that first draft, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot him. So that's the first thing I do is I got to go through each roster.
Yeah.
I write down all the quarterbacks' names. I look at the free agency going. Then I go, okay, now, who can I cancel off? Who do I know for sure is not in the top 40? All right, so I start to cross names off that way. Then now the names that I have left, I write them all down. What I basically got down to answer your question finally here, is basically 48 names that I got to where I went, for these 48, I think you could, if somebody had one of them 40, I wouldn't go, oh, you're stupid. But that's where I had to get, into the weeds a little bit with that. I think there was 48 that came down to 40. Then I canceled it down to about 45. Ultimately, I think I was down to like 42, where I was like, ooh, okay, who am I going to leave? All right, boom. And here we are with the top 40.
So we'll probably share the honorable mention as we go, because I think some reveal themselves.
Yes.
Right, Pete? Isn't that the best way to do it usually? Because I think, we don't want to do it right now.
Yeah.
We'll kind of
go.
But
I wrote down my 3. I had 43 was my tough number.
Okay.
I got it right here.
All right, so those 3 that missed the list are probably going to be some fan bases. How could you leave this guy off the
definitely
list?
Could be
right?
in this, and yes, you wouldn't be. Yes, so they were tough 3 to leave off.
Yep.
Pete says, sorry, Jalen Hurts. No, Jalen Hurts is on here.
He was left off last year.
Yes, he was.
So we have a new saying here. It used to be there are 20 top 10 wide receivers. Now there are 48 top 40 quarterbacks. Or maybe 43 when you get really down to it. All right, so let's begin. You ready? Let's kick it off.
Let's do it.
Mr. Irrelevant, as Pete calls it. But you made the list.
Yes.
Number 40. We'll kick it off. And the SIMMS top 40 quarterback countdown is
Drew Lock, Seattle Seahawks. That will be the quarterback number 40. Like Drew Lock a lot, Amin. There's things to like about his game. First off, you and I have discussed him a lot through the years here. There's real talent to the player. There really is. The talent of the player is better than 40, all right? The talent of that guy right there, he has the type of talent to be in the top 18, top 15. He really does. But playing the position he's not great at it yet. That to me, the biggest reason he's at 40 is because he just, for lack of a better way to say it, he's not in the trust tree. You can't trust him. You can't trust him with decision-making, taking care of the football, and that's, to me, the piece we're still missing with Drew Lock. Over-aggressive decision-making at times. Why are you fitting that ball down the field into that tight window? Take the underneath one, some silly decisions with just being careless and turning the ball over that way. It's consistency is the issue with Drew Lock. We see snippets. I've seen snippets the last 3 years ago. Ooh, it looks good. It could be coming. He might be taking over here soon. But it just never quite gets there. And it's a little bit all over the place when you break them down with decision-making, sometimes inaccurate throws where you're too good to miss that throw. And then taking care of the football, certainly. I think all those aspects is a guy that's got a higher ceiling than 40 for sure. But right now, I can't put him any higher than that because I don't really know what to expect out of him when you get him on the field.
Yeah, the 1 year he really started, 2020.
Right.
Started 13 games, led the league with 15 interceptions, 16 touchdowns, and then last year just started the 3 games, fell out of the trust tree for the Denver Broncos last year, fell out of your trust tree there too.
Yes.
And I think now is a good time as you take a look at his stats the first 3 years of his career, if you're watching on Peacock or YouTube. I think it's good to clarify here now. He's got a different situation now, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yes.
But it's not about, your list is not about, it's like, oh, now he's in a good spot, and so now his production's going to go up.
No.
It's not about production.
No.
It's not, you're not projecting production at all here.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to go where they're at right now as people and as players right now, right? And within that, am I trying to balance some projection growth there that I've seen through my experience of the years in the NFL? My experience with this is that the players, top-end rookie quarterbacks, that I have not projected them up enough to go, man, there's great growth that goes on between year 1 and year 2. And even though I'm not in the building there to see it, I know more times than not, the Mahomes and the Burrows and those guys of the world go from rookie year maybe being the 30th quarterback to, oh shit, they're top 10-ish. And really one of my things that if I look back at years past where I've been a little wrong is I haven't projected the big-time players kind of making that leap to me to the extent – and it's hard because, of course, when you do it, Like Mahomes going into his first year, I think I made him in there somewhere in the 20s, and people go, "You're crazy. The guy played one game his rookie year. You're telling me he's better?" Well, yeah, my experience, what I've heard, studying, watching that one game, what he was coming out in the draft. Yeah, that's why I'm here to do this, to hopefully be the guy that go, hey, he's smart. He's been here and done this. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but to project that growth a little bit.
Yep.
But this is not that. We know what this guy is to a degree. Yes, it's a different situation, certainly. He's going to have less talent around him here than he did in Denver.
Well,
right?
You got DK Metcalf.
He's got DK. I know, but as a whole, I think I would still probably
Sure.
have gone Denver last year.
Got it.
As all their weapons included.
That's interesting to think about.
I know. It's close. You're right. As I started to say it, I went, Lockett and Metcalf are really damn good.
But some people might think that, you got Lockett, Metcalf. You bump him up a little bit because he's got better receivers. No, it's not about that. This is a generic team, an average team,
exactly
all quarterbacks
right.
on the same
We're
team,
all
same talent.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Exactly right. Thank you for finally saying that last point.
All right, so having said that,
yes.
Drew Lock is going to be in a little quarterback battle.
Definitely.
Here.
You're right. With a guy that people just disrespect.
Geno Smith.
Yes.
Well, was he are we going to get to
Geno Smith is coming up in the list. He is ahead of Drew Lock. I'm not sorry. I've spoiled the list. You can just cancel out and don't listen to the next 20 episodes.
No, I was curious.
Yes,
because I did not expect that.
Geno Smith has this, and we'll get to it at the time.
Yes.
Just has this perception around him because of the Giants and Jets stuff that is just not fair. Totally. It's just not. And we'll address it at that time. But
Sure.
that'll be a good competition, certainly. And Geno Smith, as Pete Carroll said last week, is in the leader house for sure. He's got experience there. He played pretty well there last year. He knows the offense there. And, Geno Smith, like Drew Lock, is no slouch. There's real physical, tangible talent there to where you go, ooh, if it does all line up right, these guys could be, substantial starters in the NFL for a while.
And it seems like part of the knock on Drew Lock may be, immaturity. Can he be a leader of a team?
I think exactly right. I think there's all of that. So you've heard, what I tell you, hey, physical talent, great. Mental aspect, not sure about. Leadership aspect, not sure about. Lost a job to a guy last year who has less talent than he does, but has the other things that we're talking about that we're questioning with Drew Lock. And then you had a defensive coach in Vic Fangio, like a Pete Carroll, who was all into it. I just want consistent and the guy not going to screw the game up. And we'll kind of play it through our defense, right? And Drew Lock, as Vic Fangio, I think probably was justified when Drew Lock got in last year and went, I don't trust him. And then when he got in, Baltimore game comes in relief, bad interception. Chargers game, play there was some bad interception. They ended up winning the football game. But nonetheless, I think it proved to Vic Fangio, like, oh, yeah, see, this is why I didn't start him. I don't trust what this guy's going to do with the ball all the time.
Right. All right. So there it is. Drew Lock is 40, and if he doesn't like that, win the job and prove that he's made some steps. He's made some progress.
Make me talk about you different.
All right. Let's get to 39 now.
Right.
And this is interesting because I think this is a conversation about you talking with Paul last time. What, 6 rookie quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Made your top 40?
Right.
Not going to be that number this year.
No, it's not. This is the only one right here. Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh Steelers, pick number 20 NFL draft. Can we please get a new picture on that graphic besides my 2015 red carpet picture, okay? But this guy right here just got done walking down the first round red carpet. All right, Kenny Pickett, Steelers quarterback. Yes, he is my number 39. And he's not number 39. Where I'll tell you, my first few lists I wrote down, he was 40. But then, as I've told you before, I start to watch film on guys and nitpick and do all that. Kenny Pickett, of course, is now NFL film. I just got done watching him for a long period of time during the draft process. But has a lot of the things that we talked about with Drew Lock that, I don't trust. Kenny Pickett, I don't have those same feelings. And I know people are going to go, well, he's in college. How can he say that to the NFL and all that? Drew Lock had all these same concerns coming out of Missouri. It's kind of in his DNA. We were hoping he would mature and get better, to your point, and clean those things up. And we're still in the process of it. Kenny Pickett, that is not the issue at all. We don't. Kenny Pickett's top-end talent, it's real good. Is it as good as Drew Lock? No, it's not a strong arm. He's not as big of a human being as he is, but he is as good an athlete. Pickett's a good athlete. And Pickett, as far as, the mental aspect, is as impressive as it gets coming out of college the last few years. And Mac Jones, Joe Burrow, the only 2 guys I can remember in recent history where I went, ooh, in the pocket, making decisions, going through reads, putting the ball in the right spot. It's as good as anybody we've seen come out there. And I think that's why some teams absolutely loved him in the draft. It's the high-end talent that I question, but not still a starting quarterback here. But so, I wish there was some more big playability and a little more aggressiveness, like I said during the draft process. But as far as being ready to play in the NFL, I have no doubt that this guy is going to be ready. Yes, he's going to be able to run an offense. He's been running a pro offense, and he's very well schooled at playing within the pocket and making decisions and throws that way. That's why I like him, and that's why I'm going to put him in front of Drew Lock.
I think this might be history, too. Is he the first gloved player you've ever had in your top 40?
No.
No, because
Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, right. Teddy Bridgewater he's still here. So.
Second ever gloved player to make your top 40. All right, so Kenny Pickett blew up this past year, right? Was not going to be a first-round quarterback until this last year at Pitt. You take a look at his numbers in college, 4 years as a starter at Pittsburgh. Those first 3, nothing to write home about. And then year number 4, he had more touchdown passes last year than he did in those previous 3 combined. So that would be the concern is like, wow, was this just a flash in the pan? Or did it all come together for Kenny Pickett?
I think it all came together. I do. Again, he was at a school that's, they're a good school. They're well coached. He wasn't exactly surrounded by big-time, huge talent at receiver either, right? But no, this is a guy that's, like we talked about during the draft. It's a good arm. It's middle-of-the-road NFL starter arm, Like if you look at the quarterbacks that we'll have around 15, 16, that's where Kenny Pickett is. Yeah, it's not lasers. It's not Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, that kind of guy. That's not what it is. But, like, the ability to move in the pocket and do all that stuff is pretty damn amazing for his age. And no, I think, again, I think you saw a guy last year that kind of just showed you like, hey, I got the skills. Now I've mastered the offense and I'm comfortable. And I'm just going to dice you up that way. And I think that's what Pittsburgh's looking for, is that kind of guy. Now, whether he starts there in Pittsburgh, that'll be interesting to see too.
All right, we'll get to that. Yeah. We'll get to that in a second here. But I think one other thing, because we just talked about situation does not matter. It doesn't matter who your receivers are. This is a generic team. But here's one situation where familiarity could matter. It could help your development as a player. So he's obviously very familiar with that area, that complex play. And I wasn't aware of this, honestly. I didn't, and we're showing a picture right. I didn't know that they were in the same building.
Right.
I didn't know literally what Pete has here, 11 feet away. You just walk and now you're in the Steelers complex.
Yeah, right.
So that could, as far as making progress, progression, projecting how far he can go from point A to point B. I mean, familiarity can't hurt, right?
No, it definitely cannot. No, I mean, I think that's probably why they loved him. They knew little details and things about the guy, and they got to see kind of, what goes into making the donuts behind the scenes in the guy to go, okay, we feel comfortable. Plus, they've gotten to probably see 1 million reps of him on the practice field, just in passing and all of that. So, yes, that's where it makes sense. He's ready. He's ready as far as like as college quarterback being able to come in and I don't know, he hasn't done some of these things. I'm not sure if he'll be able to mentally digest it all. He's going to. Again, I know it's college football, but these are one of the few college football teams out there that ran a real kind of pro-style drop-back quarterback offense. So it's easy to see, and it's easy to picture it translating, to the next level, of course.
Not that RPO stuff that Matt Corral did, like you talked about with
you're
Phil,
right. You're right. Exactly right. There's you saw some of that, and because everybody in college does it, but no, you got to see real like, oh wait, look to the left, read number 1. Oh, number 2's over the middle. Oh, he's not there. Number 3's just a little to the right of him. Okay, he's not there. Oh no, now I need to move in the pocket and find number 4. Boom, I do that.
You've seen it. You've seen evidence
a
of
lot of it.
Not to say that Corral can't do it. You've just seen evidence with Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
So you like Corral's talent better than Kenny Pickett.
100%.
You even like Malik Willis maybe long-term better than Kenny Pickett.
I like their talent, but it doesn't mean they're better right now and ready to go right now. This is a guy where I look at and go, if he's day 1 starter, I won't be shocked. And of course he's a number 20 pick. So like last week, Paul was like, well, who do you expect to start? Mm-hmm. And I kind of like just right away went into Pickett, right? And I was like, Pickett will be the starter. He's a number 20 pick, and like he's polished, like we're talking about. He's got some skills and everything there. But then I also, as this process unfolded last week, and I'm starting to nitpick, hey, as much as I respect him, Mitchell Trubisky's good. He's got real physical ability too. He does. And the Steelers are a team that, I don't know if necessarily he'll feel the pressure or the politics of going, oh, we got to throw in our number 20 pick in there and just get him in there to like appeal to the fan base and quiet that part of it. So that's where it'll be, I think, a legit competition where it's not going to just be handed to him, because I don't think they're going to be in any rush to just give it to him either. They realize they got a good team. You know, their team, they went to the damn playoffs. They're not far off.
Yeah.
So I don't think you just throw out the guy that's like, oh, man, he's clearly not ready, but he's the number 20 pick, so we'll throw him out there.
Plus, Pete, no, it's week 1 at Bengals. So are you really going to throw
that's a big that would be
rookie quarterback
exactly
out there against
right.
a team that was the defending AFC champion?
It's got to go.
Patriots, then you got at the Browns. So that's the concern, right? You want to be able to go to your rookie and it's like a positive. You don't want to bench your rookie and it's a negative, right? You can always if you start with Mitch Trubisky, you can always eventually go to Kenny Pickett if it's not going well. You really don't want to go the other way around.
No, more times than not, you'd rather have that guy come off the bench and save the day.
Yes.
A la Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, right?
Exactly.
That kind of thing, right? So that makes sense. And, again, I think you do got to look at that early part of the season and go, wait, is it being fair to throw this guy right into the Lions' den right away here against some of the better teams in football? That's something they're going to have to figure out as training camp starts and rolls on to whether he can handle that. I think he can handle that. It's just going to be, can he handle to the ability that Mitchell Trubisky might be able to handle, who's been there, done that, and dealt with some of these situations.
This is an interesting part of the list because all these quarterbacks have like quarterback controversy, two quarterbacks on a team here,
right.
Which one's going to be the starter, which one's going to be the backup, and that, I guess, applies, although they're not going to say it in Miami.
Yeah.
But I know some people are thinking it at 38 here.
Yeah, well, number 38, that's where we're going. Teddy Bridgewater, Miami Dolphins. Yes, he's the backup there. He is. I do think he will be the backup. Now, it'll take Tua. They're going all in on Tua.
Sure.
Tua's going to have to, have some eggs splatter in his face and trip up and make some bad mistakes, I think, for Teddy Bridgewater to take over. But to me, Teddy Bridgewater's the ultimate backup. That's what he is. He is the ultimate backup. I would never want him starting for my football team, as we saw from the 2 seasons previous to this. That's just not what he is. Teddy Bridgewater does a lot of really good things. He's got good control of the football and accuracy. He is a pretty good decision maker. His arm is solid. He's a good athlete. My big thing with Teddy Bridgewater, especially at this point in his career, is we know who he is, right? He's not big time, and he's not the future of any franchise. And my biggest thing with him more than anything, and people who've listened to me in years past know, it's there's, like I said, a lot to like, and the polish is there. But the 2022 NFL, to me, doesn't translate to a guy like Teddy Bridgewater all the way. To guys where I go, they don't go and try to win the game. They just go try not to lose it. And I think there's a big difference in that. And to me, it's hard to win in the NFL when you have a quarterback who just plays not to lose.
Right.
And I think you kind of see that last year with the way they played out for Denver and some of those games. You look at some of the games he statistically had good. It's like, oh, they're way behind. Now he comes back and does well because they're in prevent. And we come away from the game going, oh, they only lost by a touchdown and his stats are pretty good. But I want to go, no, but he gave them no chance in the competitive part of the football game to really have them a chance to win the game. And that, to me, is why he's probably a little lower than most people would think at 38 on the list.
But it is good if you're the 2019 New Orleans Saints and your starting quarterback goes down and he comes in not to lose the game and they go 5-0.
That's where he's good. Exactly. In that situation, and it could be that way in Miami too, because Miami's good enough here to where you might be able to go, they might not need a quarterback to be a superstar here.
Right. And do we think Tua's really going to play all 17 games?
Exactly right. Well, and let me just say, that's also a reason Teddy Bridgewater's at number 38. He does not have the great ability to stay healthy either. That's an issue for Teddy Bridgewater. Health is an issue. He's a fragile guy. He's not always great within the pocket when the pocket's collapsing. But to your point, if it's all set up and the team is pretty good, like the Saints was back at that time, where they go, wait, we don't need the quarterback to make superstar wow plays for us to win. We can run, and our defense is awesome. And, I'm Sean Payton, and I'll dial up a few plays. Just the guy will be open, and you don't have to do a whole lot. That is where he's perfect. Exactly right. But if you don't have that team, if you got the 2020 Carolina Panthers or 2021 Denver Broncos, you don't want him because he's not going to put your team over the edge or give you any advantage like against a team that's even or maybe slightly better than you, where you go, ooh, our quarterback can maybe put us above them today. That's not going to happen, in my opinion.
Got to have the other pieces in place.
Yes.
Now, you don't look at last year's rankings. You told me that before the podcast.
Don't.
So
Right.
I'll fill you in on where you've had Teddy
the
past few years. 2020, you had him at 29.
Yeah, okay.
Last year, you had him at 32.
Right.
This year, you have him at 38.
Yeah.
Next year, he'll be out of the top 40.
Well, maybe we'll see. I wouldn't say surprised to see him hovering around right in the same area next year either, no doubt. But yes, I think as the years have gone on here, where maybe I hope for a different Teddy Bridgewater to a degree, I think I've come to the determination between what I saw on film last year, the notes I wrote down over the past 10 days, and then the 2 years period. Like, this is what he is. This is what he is, and this is kind of where he is. And I think the talks of him being a starter, those are gone forever. Unless he's in a situation like he is kind of now, where it's like, ooh, the quarterback in front of him's not great.
Right.
And if he trips up, then, hey, we can bring him off the bench and he can salvage the day, but he's never going to be the future of any team going forward.
Do we have the stats comparing Tua and Teddy last season, their numbers? Because in a lot of ways, they're kind of similar quarterbacks.
Yes,
right?
they are. There's a lot of similarities.
Managers.
Right. Can play small in the pocket.
Right.
Not the greatest arms in the world. Right.
Completion percentage was very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Passing yards per game, similar.
Yeah.
Passing yards per attempt, low, on the lowish end.
Yeah, they're all both on the lowish end.
Yeah, I mean, those are
Yes.
if you switch those numbers around and be like, you can't tell who's who.
No. The one thing I'll say with Tua, where I give him an advantage over Teddy Bridgewater, and because Tua's on this list, he's going to be, sometime here in a little bit. Not today. I don't mean in a little bit, but like where I when people want to compare that, I go, well, this is two things. Like Tua, there is a little charisma and leadership about him that he brings to the table. Tua's movement is clearly a notch above Teddy Bridgewater. Like as far as being able to scramble for yards or even hop around the pocket. And then the other thing that Tua is sneaky good at, kind of watching again back this weekend, and of course there's things he's got to improve on, but Tua's ability to move his arm angle around and things is a subtle skill that he maybe doesn't get as much credit for. Stepping up in the pocket this way, and there's a lane to throw it here, and he can kind of just do that and stuff like that. See, that to me is where, like, Teddy doesn't have that. Teddy's more the traditional, going to throw it the right way, do all that stuff. So that's where, I thought there was a little separation between the player. And the last thing, too, to give you just one more thing for Tua, Tua's a more aggressive decision maker. He might turn the ball over, as you see there, a little bit. But, if Tua sees, oh, wait, this coverage, coach told me all week to be like, ooh, the post might be there, he'll go back and take it and give it a good look, right? Bridgewater at times, if the timing of the game's not right, he won't look at it. And that's what bothers me. He will leave yards and plays on the field. And to me, that's a big detriment in 2022 NFL, where the league is set up for the quarterbacks in the passing game to take advantage of everything that's there. Excuse me.
All right, Pete, clip that off, and whenever a Miami Dolphin fan tweets Tuanon, tweets Chris, you clip that and send it to. Have a bot, set up a bot.
Right.
Elon's not going to like that. Oh, we weren't recording that. Yeah, that'll never be heard from again. Never repeat that.
Yeah.
All right, so Teddy Bridgewater at number 38 there. It will be interesting. It's New England at Buffalo or at Baltimore versus Buffalo, and then at Cincinnati. First 4 games. And so if that's a rough start for Tua, even if he's the better quarterback, more ability, there's going to be some chatter.
Yeah.
There's going to be some chatter. I mean,
no question.
Tough defenses.
Yeah, you're right. It's tough. It's just like you just talked about with Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Or you just go, this is a tough early schedule. There's no doubt.
Team with expectations.
Yeah, it can dictate how that quarterback position goes or plays out throughout the rest of the year.
All right. We don't think there's a quarterback controversy in 37, but who knows? Early season struggles, you never know. 37 on your list is?
Gardner Minshew, backup quarterback, Philadelphia Eagles. And again, to me, one of the best backup quarterbacks in all of football.
Not ranked last year.
Not ranked last year. One of the first guys out. He was like 41 or 42 last year. I believe the year before that, Pete wrote it down somewhere.
He was 30. Yeah.
All right. So I had him on a low,
He's been volatile.
He's right here in this stretch. This is where he is a little bit. I think, ultimately, low-end starter in the NFL, really high-end backup, But Gardner Minshew, first off, you can depend on him as a backup. He's a natural at the position, a little bit where The physical skills are not as good as Drew Lock or even Kenny Pickett. No.
Yeah.
Maybe his arm might not even really be as good as Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater might have a better arm. Right. But Minshew can really play. Minshew is a very good decision maker. Minshew is really crafty and good in the pocket. Minshew brings a leadership and a flair to your football team that is undeniable. That is undeniable. In fact, it's one of the rarest backups I've ever seen from that aspect, and that like the team gravitates towards him. Just go watch the Jets game last year when he was dicing up the Jets, and I know it was the Jets, but he scores and looks at the sideline and makes these silly faces and poses, and they eat it up, and that adds to the value too. Let alone he's got great anticipation and great touch and can change the arm angle. So he's a guy that can really play. He's a pretty aggressive decision maker, even though he doesn't have this big arm, right? And he can make plays in the pocket and outside of the pocket and has a little moxie and flair to him. And I like Gardner Minshew. He's one of the best backups in football, and that's why I got him ahead of Teddy Bridgewater. I think there's an element he brings to the team that Bridgewater doesn't, and that's why I just I notched him up one bump ahead.
One of my favorite moments from last year was Gardner Minshew embracing his father after that one Week 11 game win against the Jets. Remember
That's
that?
What I mean.
He's like pushing him, fist bumping him. Like his dad's even like, "Oh man, this is throwing me off a little bit." I love it. Like, look at that.
I know. It's hilarious.
He's not. The cool thing about him is he doesn't act too cool for it. Like he acts cool, right?
Yeah.
He's got the sunglasses.
Right.
He's got the jean shorts. Which, by the way, now you got two gloved guys and a jean shorts guy.
But then he looks at Dad and he's like, "I'm an idiot, aren't I?" And then he hugs him again. I know.
Exactly. He's just into it. He's just into it.
He loves it. He does. It shows on the field. It shows off the field. And he embraces who he is. And to me, that's why he is a good leader. That's why Jacksonville was like, damn, should he be our starter? And now Philadelphia, and Jalen Hurts, anytime he struggled last year, what did everybody say? Early in the year when it was struggle, maybe Gardner Minshew should start. Because he's got a charisma that a starter has. He really does. And that's where he's a little different. And I think he is one of those guys that you can go, hey, our quarterback's hurt for 3 weeks. We needed to play good for 3 weeks. Or our quarterback's just hurt for the next 3 quarters, and we need you to save this game for you. I don't think he cares, and I think he's just ready to play because he loves it and he prepares himself the right way.
All right, you've already hinted here that Jalen Hurts has made your list, and he did not last year.
Yeah.
So you got him higher on this list. Take away the running. Say that the quarterback just had to stay in the pocket, and you're picking a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that we know is going to run the ball really well, going to have a good defense. Who would be your quarterback? Who would be your pick?
That's a good question. Gardner Minshew is definitely a better thrower and player within the pocket than Jalen Hurts.
Even without the arm strength, you've said.
I do, yeah. And Hurts' arm is good. Again, it's not crazy strong either. Not enough to where I go, oh, it's such a difference in the arm strength that Hurts will be able to make so many throws. It's not. Hurts is, I would say, is just a little bit stronger than Gardner Minshew. But Minshew's good that way. Now, he's a little smaller, right? And pocket collapses, throwing over people, doing that stuff. Okay, maybe not his best. Hurts is probably a little bit better playing that physical aspect of in the pocket. But, as we've talked about, Hurts definitely has to get better with precision in his throwing and those throws that are, big-time NFL in the pocket type throws.
So you said Teddy Bridgewater, who is one behind Gardner Minshew, is a high-quality backup. Would never want him starting from my team.
Right.
Does that apply to Gardner Minshew? Even with the leadership,
I guess
charismatic.
I wouldn't be as strong as that. No, I wouldn't be as strong with that. Again, Gardner Minshew, on my perfect team, do I want him to be my starting quarterback? No. But if he was like, hey, Chris, you're the GM of a team, you got to wait a year or maybe 2 to get your starter, the guy you love, right? Gardner Minshew, you got to deal with him for 1 year and maybe 2. Right? I go, okay, we can make that work, It's again, he's not going to carry the squad. He's not going to be like, oh, gosh, we're going to put it all on his shoulders. You got to play a certain style of football, as you do with all these guys we're talking about really right now. That's why they're not starters. That's why they're fighting for backup jobs and fighting to stay alive in the NFL. But, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
There are guys that you root for in the league. No matter what team you team you root for, they're just individual players. I think a lot of people root for Gardner Minshew. The next guy on your list is someone
root for him too.
Is someone I've been rooting for a long time, covering him in Hampton Roads, Virginia.
Yeah,
Hampton Crabber. Number 36 is
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
backup quarterback for the G-Man. That's right. That's my backup quarterback. Tyrod Taylor. You know, I feel bad for the guy at times. I do, because he's been a little unlucky. Hey, one of the reasons I think he's a backup a little bit in this spot too is you can't, a little like we talked about with Teddy Bridgewater, you can't depend on him to stay healthy throughout the year. That would be one thing that's, a little concerning about him. You saw that last year. You saw that the year before with Dr. Needle punctured his lung in his chest, but he had a rib injury, so he was injured. That's why he was getting the shot to begin with. The falling on the wrist when Baker Mayfield was there, in Cleveland. So he has not been able to stay healthy. But Tyrod Taylor has some big time elements of his skill set that are starting quarterback worthy. That I would tell you for sure. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, as compared to some of the other guys we've talked about on this list already, has a really good arm. It's a really good arm. Him and Drew Lock would have the two best arms of the guys we've talked about here so far. He can pump it down the field, 60-yard, 70-yard post routes. He's got some strength. We know he's a good athlete too. He can make some plays outside of the pocket and scramble for 20-yard touchdown runs or do anything like that. Definitely. But, Tyrod Taylor, has a little bit of the Teddy Bridgewater in him to a degree that does bother me. And the fact that, it's a careful football game at times. It is. It's a careful game. It's not always taking advantage of what's there to be had. Oh, I'll just play it safe for now. Well, damn, that might be the only time he gets open 40 yards down the field. You got to take it now. We can't go, we'll wait for it later.
And we've talked about this before with him.
We have.
The debate on, is that him? Is that what the offense is calling for? And you do believe, though, that it is
Yeah,
him.
it is. It's just too many years of me kind of saying the same thing. And I came away even again last year watching the few games he played last year, where, yes, he got off to a hot start and did some things really well, early on. But it was also early on in the year, and you watch it a little bit, like teams are still figuring out what the Texans were doing. Some of the plays, you just go, well, damn, he's wide open. Hey, it was a great throw. It was good. Whatever. But, then he got hurt, and when he came back, it just was bumpy. It was. And bumpy teams caught on to the offense, and I know he wasn't a part of a great offense either, but I think with Tyrod, it's the, too many people. Oh, wait, you're in the pocket. There's somebody open here. You can't see him because you're a little small in the pocket. Oh, the pocket's collapsing. Wait, that guy's open, 15 or 20 yards to your right here. You just got to stand in there with pressure around you and make that throw and get hit. Oh, nope, he's going to look to move around and wait for a cleaner area to throw the ball. And I know people, that's great. And, hey, a lot of the times, like with some of those plays, we'll go, oh, well, look, Tyrod just scrambled for 7. Good job. Or, oh, Tyrod, he moved around the pocket and threw it for a 6-yard completion. Good job. But what people are missing sometimes with those type of plays that I try to explain to people, and this is true with Tyrod Taylor, is some of those plays where you go, oh, he scrambled for 7. I go, yeah, but if he just stood in the pocket, there was a guy open for 20 yards down the middle. He's just got to stand there, and he's got to make the throw. He's going to get hit in the ribs. Yeah, he's got to do it. Or, yeah, damn, he threw the check down. I get it. So it's 2nd and 3, but like the 18-yard in cut to the right was open. You got to hit it. I know there was people in his face, but it's just too open. You can't go, oh, I can't see it or whatever else. And that, I think, is what like kind of knocks him down to a degree.
Yeah.
There is some ability to make some high-end, awesome stuff happen, but it's too few and far between at times. And to me, it has to be, again, a little bit too much served up on a silver platter at times.
Sure.
Instead of just making it happen. Has a little of that Teddy Bridgewater, I'm not going to lose the game, instead of just saying, I'm going to go win the game. Not maybe to Teddy's extent, but similar.
You know what's funny is, like, from covering him back in high school.
Yeah.
He was so good. He was just such a mobile. You mentioned he's got a strong arm.
Yeah.
Very strong arm. He's got fluid motions, like that arm's just flopping around. He throws it 70 yards or whatever, 65.
Yeah.
But he was so good as a mobile running quarterback. in high school,
Yep.
and then in college.
Right.
It's kind of the same things we talk about with Lamar Jackson. You just did not need to develop that other part of your game until you get to the NFL and the players are faster than you've ever seen before.
Yes, right.
But you just haven't had that work before the NFL,
No.
where you needed to rely on your arm. He didn't need to rely on his arm ever.
No, it's the hard thing for, the quarterback with the crazy strong arm or the quarterback with the crazy good athlete, legs that can run and do all that stuff. They both go through a learning curve of, wait, the strong arm guy goes, oh, wait, I can't fit that in there. I can't fit in there. My whole life I fit it in there. So they keep doing it. And you see Brett Favre and those kind of guys, they throw a lot of interceptions earlier in their career and whatever else. And it takes some time to adjust, or they don't, and they're on the bench or out of the league. Same thing, though. Your conversation is very real that way. Yeah, to where, hey, I don't need to make that tight throw. I don't need to. I can go run for 10 yards now. And everyone's just going to go, oh, first down. Let's go. Awesome. Yeah. So there is that. Yes. But, as we've talked about, the NFL still comes down to making those throws within the pocket, making those type of plays. And, yeah, to me, that's where he lacks a little bit. And I think even – you look at his last 4 games he played last year. I think I pretty much said it to you. I think that's why they went to Davis Mills. If I got this right, the Jets game was his last game, right? Or no, it might have been the Colts game. The Jets game the week before that, the Tennessee game the week before that, and it was the Miami game where he came back, where he came back after the injury. He played horrible in that game with some bad turnovers. They won a game in Tennessee in the rain, and they had the turnovers, and Tannehill had interceptions, but really did nothing and was did not lose the game. Mm-hmm. And because he played that way, they won that day. But then the next week kind of played that same style against the Jets, and we're up 14-0 or 14-3 early when I was watching that back 2 days ago. And it got real conservative again, and let me protect the lead. And, oh, shit, now Zach Wilson made a few plays, and you guys are losing 18-14, instead of stomping on their throat when you had a few opportunities that way.
Yep.
So there was that, and then the Colts game the next week. Shutout where that, to me, is what solidified him as 38, because there was never an attempt to really change the game over. Let me make a play. Let me make a big throw here in this moment. It was just like, we're dying slowly, and I'm going to die slowly. But it ain't going to be my fault. And I have a problem with that, as you could tell. I knock people down for that style play. It's not acceptable in 2022 NFL.
It's so huge for every position. We talk about it with receivers a lot, too.
Right.
Can you change the game with one play that half the league would not be able to make,
right?
Taking a 10-yard gain and making it a 70-yard touchdown like Jamar Chase does.
Right.
That changes the whole complexion of a game.
Yeah.
Like, is there enough of that in Tyrod's game? You say no.
No.
Pete's got a good question here.
Great.
This is Producer Pete, at Producer Pete, Demolitis. What's more likely? Tua is benched for Teddy, or Daniel Jones is benched for Tyrod?
Ooh. I think if you made me choose one of those two, I'm going to go with the second one. I just feel like with Tua, there's such a groundswell and support there for him. They've got a coach that I think is just like there, not only because he deserves it, but they knew his offense would fit the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got weapons galore. To where, again, me, I love the Giants, and I'm rooting for Daniel Jones. I don't know why. I just feel like there's, maybe more there to make it happen for Tua. Where, Daniel Jones, the fan base is not behind him quite the same.
Right.
As Tua has there in Miami.
They didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
No, they did not pick his 5th-year option. So, there's no Jonesing on, to Pete's point, right? We don't have a backlash of people. So, I think because of that, no 5th-year option like you're talking about, where what I'm basically saying is if Tua stumbles a little bit the first 5 weeks, they're going to go, okay, it's a new offense, we'll learn it. If Daniel Jones stumbles the first 5 weeks and things aren't good and all that, I do think you're going to hear fans and everybody just go, well, maybe we should play Tyrod Taylor. Screw Daniel Jones. He's not going to make it. He can't do it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I guess that's my thought. I haven't really thought about that a lot, but that would be my initial reaction there.
Giants are really kicking the can down the road, right? Because at least with Miami, you can trick yourself into believing, even if it's not true, it might be true, that Tua is the future.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I think at this point, I think the realization there that Daniel Jones, unless he makes a huge leap, it's like he's not the future. Is he going to be is Daniel Jones going to be the quarterback of the Giants' next playoff team?
I think they're hopeful.
You think
I think they really want him to be the guy, and I think he has a lot of the things to be the guy.
He'll be on this list.
That he will be on the list. Daniel Jones is really hard because when you go back and watch Daniel Jones, all right, first off, like you go back and you go, damn, there's a lot of good. Holy shit, what a throw in the pocket. Holy shit, is he under pressure and people are killing him and he's just throwing balls down the field. Holy shit, there he goes running around the edge for 70 yards. There's some things about him where you go, that is really good. You know, but holding the ball too long in the pocket, getting it stripped out, doing that, you know, throwing a screen pass against the Buccaneers where he's falling down to his right and he just throws the ball like across the field to the screen pass and right into a defensive lineman's chest. You know, those are the few things. And then what you again, anybody that's listening to this, the other thing with Daniel Jones is like I kind of just alluded to it. There's so many plays where you go, he has no chance. I don't care if we have 7 Tom Brady's at quarterback. It doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be able to do anything with this offensive line. And that's where he's a tough ranking. We'll get to him later on because he's not coming today or tomorrow. But you know, it's a big question.
We're not doing a pod tomorrow.
Okay, well, that's why he's not coming tomorrow. He's not going to be here.
Yeah, he does some of those some of those frustrating things.
Yes.
And then the next day, he'll take a picture with your son in New York, and so it's like, how do you rank him that low on the list? How do you? You can't put him down in the bottom.
That sounds like a biased ranking for me. That does.
All right, so that's the first 5.
That's
right
the
there.
first 5 in the books.
I like those, and I know those are hard for you. It's like it's splitting hairs, and it's so close.
It is.
Those are interesting conversations because, like we mentioned with Teddy Bridgewater, that Saints team, it put them in a better seeding playoff position. Like these quarterbacks could play a huge part in not having a playoff or non-playoff team, but maybe, you know, if the starter gets hurt and if the starter underwhelms, it's like these guys could have a huge impact on the NFL season.
No doubt about it. You're right. Usually one of these guys does, you know. Yeah, they usually do. And really ranking like 32 to 40 is probably one of the most exhausting parts of the whole exercise. Because, again, you're talking about guys that, you know, they got a flaw. There's the things I like. How are you going to match that all up to go, wait, I like this guy that does this. This guy doesn't do as good in this area. But, the next area, that guy actually better than this guy was. And it's nitpicky.
Right.
It's a tough area here. It's a group of guys that I really look at to go, they're really not starting quarterbacks for the most part. There's some starting quarterback traits there, but I'm not sure that they have all the traits to be, you know, anything long-term that way.
So we've just gone through 5.
Other than Kenny Pickett. I don't mean him.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
We've just gone through 5 here. There's one listener, one homie out there who tweets the program often, who gave his best effort at predicting your top 40. This is Tomas Pena. And
what up,
here
Tomas?
It is.
He's our man.
He's our man, yeah. I remember I said his name one time on the pod, and he goes, "You're the first person to say my name right." And I don't remember how I said it. And so I might be saying it wrong now. His last name, I think it's Pena or Payne. Yeah, I think that's right.
He did a good job. He really did do a good job.
So we're looking at it right now. So the bottom, what did he get right at the bottom 5? Like
he got Pickett at 39, right?
Pickett exactly right at 39.
He got Drew. I mean, look, Drew Lock at 37. I had him at 40.
Yeah.
Right? Bridgewater at 35.
Corral in there, who's not in there.
Yeah.
Trubisky, we think, will be higher. Mariota, TBD on him. But, yeah, as you go up there, you go Allen, Mahomes. So I think every homie should kind of try to do this. I bet a lot could get into your brain with the top 5. I wonder how many, like if we did a try your luck at, what do we call that other one? Perfect 10?
Perfect 10.
If you could do the perfect 5, I wonder how many people would get. We should do the perfect 10, though. Why don't we do the perfect 10?
I'm all
again,
for that.
Pete?
I think that's a good idea. It is. Hey, listen, there's some things here where I go, damn, this guy, he's got some parts of the list where I go, he's close to on it here. He really does. I don't want to give it away.
It's like, did Pete text him the list?
He might have.
Or something like that?
He could be that kind of guy. Saboteur. He could.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Tomas
I will
Pete.
say his top 5 ain't right. I mean, it's not right.
Don't give too much
away. Got some
away.
of the names, but it's not right.
All right, so maybe we'll do a perfect 10.
Yeah.
And we'll give away, but like PointsBet won't do it, but Chris will give away $100,000 of his own dollars if anyone can correctly pick the top 10.
No, we're going to give away.
Legally, I have to say that was a joke.
Your Commander's outfit.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we're gonna get.
You can wear it for one day. You can wear my Commander's outfit for one day, then you have to send it back. That's fun.
I think now that we're saying this, you should have to wear team colors with every pod.
We can figure out.
Who are you going to bring out? So, like the picture we showed earlier, it was Lions colors. That's your Lions outfit.
That was yeah.
So, next Monday when you're back, you better have team colors on, or I'm not letting you host the show.
We can find a team that is similar to the colors that I'm wearing each week. I'm sure
you could easily do it.
Don't show that picture again of me at the top. My stomach was out a little bit.
It was a little out.
What was up with that?
I don't know. You must have been eating that good Southern food down there.
There's a lot of food. I think it was a calzone right before that, or pasta or something like that.
Yes, yes, that'll make your belly go out.
Yeah.
All right. That's it, right? We're done?
That's it.
Okay, that's it. For the Washington Commanders and Ahmed Fareed, he says farewell. No, but thanks for everybody listening out there. Hope you keep sending in thoughts, questions about the quarterback rankings. It's not easy. I'm not sitting here telling you I'm God's gift to the world, but I am good at it, and I do work hard at it, and I've been around it my whole life. Hope you enjoy it. You know what we got? We got 5 more coming on Wednesday, right? Is that how we're doing it? 5 each pod here?
Yep.
All right. So 5 each pod here to start. Ahmed, thanks a lot, man. Good luck with the Preakness this weekend.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right. And then we'll see you Monday.
I'll be back Monday.
You'll be back Monday. Long weekends for Ahmed right now.
That's all right.
I'm just capping it off with Chris SIMMS Unbuttoned every week.
Keep it rolling.
Awesome. All right. Clap it up.
Clap it up.
Yo, what's up? Come on, man. Subscribe on YouTube to Chris SIMMS Unbuttoned Podcast. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button, please.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.